So here's a short story that shows that occasionally justice is served. About a husband and father who's definitely having the last laugh after his wacko ex got busted drinking and driving and leaving the kid at home, and is now, after doing that several times, doing some time and he's getting full custody. Titled, "My ex was just arrested for DUI and other bad things," and a shout out to Richard for sending in this story. He says, my ex was just arrested for DUI and leaving the kid at home, putting the kid in a bad situation. I got a call on my cell phone around midnight from her. It was a butt dial. She didn't speak into the phone, but I did hear what was very clearly bar noises coming from the background. This was on a night that my ex had custody of my son. So either he was at the bar with her, or he was at home and he's 10 years old alone, which would not be okay. Well, there you go. Now, there's debate in the comment section whether 10-year-old is okay to be left at home. But if mom quick went out to get something from the store, that's one thing. But leaving a 10-year-old at home at night, again, depending on the maturity level, while she's out getting trashed, oh, no, 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 no. Well, I called her and asked where she was, and I got no answer. I then called the police, who waited outside while I tried to get her to come out. After about an hour, the police left. Although they didn't believe that she was in the house, they didn't have the cause to forcibly enter the residence. They were apologetic and gave me some good suggestions, but eventually left. Well, that's not going to last too long. While I continued to wait outside, after about 10 minutes, she pulled up in her car. She passed out at the wheel. Freaking lowlife. And by the way, you're going to see this isn't her first incident of a DUI. He's like, jackpot, snap, 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 call the police. Well, to make a long story short, the police came back, she was arrested, and got charged with child endangerment and driving under the influence. Well, good. She deserves it. I know somebody else should be certainly charged and have repercussions. We all know Tiger Woods, third time. I got her house keys from her, entered her house, and retrieved my son. Before he came down, I had them put her in the police car so that he wouldn't have to seize mom in handcuffs. I took pictures of her crazy hoarder house. If I stopped freaking out, I might post them. That says a lot about him that he asked them to obviously remove her, put her in the car, even though the cops could easily just have her there for the son to see. You think your average mom would do that? No way. And oh yeah, guys, she's a hoarder. The cop was sympathetic and wasn't sure if the child endangerment charge would stick, but he said he would charge her and let the DA figure out what charges would stick. She's already on probation for another DUI that she got in December. Okay. And had been admitted to an accelerated rehabilitation program. She's going to have both sets of charges leveled against her and is nearly certainly going to jail, at least for a little while. He says, fuck, what a night. I could really use a hug. More like you could use a beer or a couple shots. If she has a history of this, DUIs, and he went to rehab and she's still doing this crap, yeah, she should do time. Okay? Absolutely. And I would say that for anybody, for Christ's sake. You know? And again, back to leaving the kid at home and child endangerment, people can debate back and forth on that, what it was, but the way I see it is, between the DUIs and all that, yeah. You know? My parents, when I was 10 years old, might leave real quick. They had to run down to store me back in 20 minutes, but at night, that's a different ballgame. Now, a whole series of updates was going on. He says here, this morning, I applied for temporary protection from the order of our local court system. My ex is to have no contact with my son or pain of criminal contempt charge. We have the final hearing on April 18th. Update number 2. He says the advice about posting the pictures was very well received. Thank you. If you want to see this might look like, go here. My ex's place is like living room number 7 on the pictures at the bottom of the page. Well, I clicked on that. This story is like really old, but it was sent to me and it was a good one. I never covered it. I didn't get to see what it looked like, but the link was from like the OCD Foundation or whatever. Update number 3. He said, our hearing on the child endangerment charges today. Please, mythical man in the sky, in whom I don't actually believe in, let her be bound over for trial on that charge. Update number 4. He says, I submitted the pictures I took during the incident and some order info on the A&E show Hoarders. A producer from the show just called me and they potentially interested in doing the show. If she did it, they would help her clean and organize. Hopefully my ex will agree. I have a feeling she's just going to be pissed off though. Well, she's going to be behind bars, so, And by the way, guys, there's a prequel to this story. All about her and how they got divorced and how she was a hoarder and how he got custody. And if you want to hear that, let me know in the comment section. I'll definitely cover it. Update number 5. We went to court this morning for the protection from abuse order. The ex offered to sign over full residential custody of my son to me. With her receiving 2 supervised visits a week, no overnights at her house, I took her offer. I know I've quote-unquote won, but honestly, it just feels shitty. It is shitty, because in a perfect world, okay, their marriage didn't work out, but the kid could have his mom, and she wouldn't be doing this shit. Well, it ain't a perfect world, but this is the best situation. The kid can't be around her. She's a freaking mess. Putting aside the DUIs, which is a big thing, leaving him alone at home, the house, she's a hoarder. It's a freaking mess. Can you imagine the extent of that? And the kid's living in that? 6. I'm sure no one is monitoring this, but in any case, things have gotten progressively worse for my ex. She managed to get herself fired from her university job. He says bye-bye tuition benefits for our kid, and is currently unemployed, living in her banana hoarder house. My son is with me all the time now, and he has 2 non-overnight visits a week. She actually had a job at a university. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean she was a professor. She could have just worked in the admissions office, but regardless. My ex signed papers that allow me to move with my son to a district that is one of the best in the state in which I live, and is away from her, so that I don't have to exit my apartment every day and watch her continue to descend into chaos. I can't and don't want to fix her problems, but it still hurts to watch someone who was a part of my life for nearly 20 years kill herself slowly. Dude, it is not your job to save her. You were married to her. She screwed the whole thing up. There's a reason you got divorced. And look at the mess she's causing now in her life. And look at the potential that she could have caused your son. No, do not feel bad for her. Update number 7. I'm in a new school district. Son is now getting the best grades he's ever gotten. 2 A's, 1 A minus, 2 B's. Hooray. He was a little behind in his reading compared to his peers in his district, so he's getting daily help from the reading specialist. His mom is in jail for 90 to 180 days. Well, frankly, I think she should get more. That seems pretty lenient to me, given 2 DUIs amongst the other things. So there you go, guys. That's an abrupt ending there. But like I said, this is an example on the rare occasion justice is actually served. And I wouldn't feel bad for her. But I'm going to read the comment section. And again, in the comment section, nobody's feeling bad for her at all. But, now let's see what happens to Tiger Woods. I'm sure most of you guys heard about Tiger Woods. 3 times Tiger Woods. Happened in 2010. I think it happened in 2020, I think. And now it happened now. Rolling the vehicle, At least he rolled the vehicle 2 times. But I'm guessing he's probably going to get away with it scot-free. Some comments here. One guy says, your kid deserves you and not his mother. As a mom, I find her behavior completely abhorrent. A 10-year-old should not be left alone while his mom goes out and gets hammered. And so hammered that she cannot even make it back to the house for passing out. She is certainly misguided, to say the least, about her. Another guy says, OMG, thank goodness your son is all right. I have an 11 and a 9-year-old, and there's no way they can be left alone. Some of the things I catch them doing or experimenting with right in front of me, my eyes are beyond imagination. I one time caught my 9-year-old poking himself with a rusty post today. I shudder to think what a boy that age can get into alone. All the best to you both. The kid's poking himself with a rusty post. Okay, this kid's a moron. And the last one, it says, the only advice I can give you is to be constant in his life and make sure he knows you're always got his back. Having a parent who's a complete fuck-up is rough, but if the other parent isn't, that makes all the difference. If she doesn't fix herself, your son will grow to hate that he comes second to his mother's life to booze. If he's very lucky, at some point, this hate and resentment will transform into indifference, but it will also mean that she's lost him forever. Well, she's done this to herself, okay? And given that I have someone in my family I'm close to who's messed up that individual's life, I'm being as vague as possible. Through that, I have little sympathy. Whole lifetime of rehab and sponsors and trying to end themselves and all these other things and causing chaos to everybody around them. I don't have any sympathy. But this guy can be the rock in his son's life and be there for him, and he's doing a good job. I'm glad he got divorced. But again, guys, if you want to hear the details about their divorce and all her hoarding and all that type of stuff, let me know. It's a longer story, but I'll cover here anyway.